All right, I think we're live. Hi, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope everyone is doing well.
All right, we got a bonjour de France. How are you doing?
All right, cool. I see the chat is blowing up.
It's amazing.
If you guys could do us a favor and just let us know whether you can hear and see us. We don't, just so we know all the technology is working, so we're not sat here talking to ourselves. If you could just let us know and let us know where everyone's tuning in from. I see people tuning in from all over. Sean from Harlem. We have Valentina from Italy, Iwona from Poland, Matt from Italy, Maxime from France. Okay, people saying they can see us. Cool. How's everyone doing today? Everyone excited for this?
I'm doing good, Fabian. How are you doing?
Great. I wasn't asking you, but I'm doing too. I'm doing good too. Obviously a little excited.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for showing up. We're going to wait like a minute or two to make sure that everybody's in. But it's already 6:04, so we're already 4 minutes in. So we're going to wait just a minute, and then we're going to start. We have a lot of material for you guys. It's going to be good. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, I think actually we should just start. I'm going to start.
The chat is blowing up, so I'm assuming most people will be here. If people tune in a few minutes late, then it's not the end of the world. So yeah, I'd say go for it.
I'm going to start sharing my screen. How do I do this? I can share just this. Oh, that's good. All right. I'll just share the technical. If I do this. Because I have the choice between sharing either InDesign or sharing the whole screen.
Just share InDesign, I guess.
Yeah, when I'm going to switch to Photoshop, then I'll have to come back at this.
Okay, yeah.
But
share your screen then, I guess.
I'm trying to see the options that I have here. I'm just going to share this now. Maybe, entire screen. There you go. I'm going to share everything. All right, good. Let's take that out. And all right, guys.
All right.
Let's start this. So thank you guys for showing up, guys. Today we're going to learn a lot how to become a world-class digital painter and learn to paint anything in your imagination in just 6 weeks. You're going to see it's amazing and material. It's basically the material that I learned for myself when I started. The best tricks that I consider that I had in my toolbox. Basically, I'm going to give it to you today. So, by the way, you're in the right place if you have beautiful vision for painting in your head, but you struggle getting them down on canvas from time to time, have a busy schedule and find it really difficult to make time to practice, start dozens of painting. This one happened to me way too many often. Start dozens of painting, but find really hard to finish any. Like, did you ever start a painting and then, you struggle to actually get the result that you want and just ended up just starting a new one because you're disappointed? Yeah, well, that happened to me too many times. Want to make a living from digital painting, but you're not quite sure how to get there and are frustrated by your slow progress and often feel overwhelmed by how much there is to learn. If anything like those things sounds familiar to you, I'm going to have great material for you guys. And now I'm guessing that this is not your first lesson. I'm sure that you had lessons over the internet, or maybe you went to art school. And I just want to put your mind at rest. If you've been failing at this before, especially if you've been doing research on the internet, there's so much material out there that it becomes overwhelming, and that's the reason why you've been having so much difficulty. And if you're concerned that you just can't do this, that digital painting is just too hard for you and you can't do it, rest assured that everybody can do it. I'm going to show you the techniques today that are going to make just jump your learning from a point that you won't remember that you were not able to do this before. And I want to say that too, there's a lots of people talking on the internet, about to be able to do a career into the world of digital art, you need to go into big art school and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on really expensive diplomas. This is absolutely wrong. You can actually jumpstart a career by just learning on your own and have just a really good structure base to start. And I want to ask you this. Have you ever heard someone around you telling you that you have to be realistic because, to be an artist, it's absolutely impossible. And if you be an artist, you're going to be starving? Did anybody around you ever said that? I know there was a lot of people around me when I started to do this, and I want to tell you they're all absolutely wrong. To this day, lots of artists can make really a great career starting this. And even if you don't want to make a career, you'll be able to reach your goal really, really fast with what I have to show you today. Because I know, like I had a dream when I started, I'm sure you have a dream too. You have visions in your head. You want to put them on canvas, and you're probably frustrated because it's just not happening. Well, today, I'm going to teach you how you can do all of this. My goals for this presentation, I got two big goals for beginners and for experience. Basically, what you're going to learn here is this. You'll learn to build a professional practice system that will allow you to cut years of frustration and still progress, build a good habit from day one, and start painting incredible painting in just a few weeks. And if you already know a little bit about it, you'll rest assured you're going to learn a lot of stuff today with us today as well. You'll get a formula to quickly perfect your work and push your style into the right direction that you want. And my ultimate goal for tonight is to teach you this, to show you that the only way for you to have improvement, exponentially improvement, that's a word I'm not able to say, exponentially improvement is through active learning. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, guys. It's all to be about active learning. I'm super excited. I hope you're excited too. On top of that, if you stay with us, I'll make sure that you do not have to take notes. So you can just sit back, relax. I'm going to give you a lot of material today. Might get overwhelming, but just relax. I'm going to give you the PDF of this presentation, so you'll be able to go through it into your own time. So let's just relax and have fun, shall we? My name, David Béliveau. I am a self-taught illustrator and digital painter. Before doing so, I worked 11 years as a graphic designer, and I've been spending about 7 years now teaching myself and teaching others the art of painting by doing digital painting. What I really love is to do portraiture. That's pretty much my passion, I would say. But I've been doing all sorts of different work. When I was a graphic designer, I was already like teaching myself to actually do this into a professional matter, and I had different styles. That's one thing that I believe. Lots of people think that to be an artist, you have to have one style. I don't believe that. I think you can experiment a lot. You may have seen my work already out there. I've been featured at a few places. I'm not bragging here, I'm just saying. The one thing that I really like to do these days, though, it's to teach. I did a lot of teaching in the past few years. That's one of the classes that I created. It was called the 1 Week Portrait. Actually, guys, if you can let me know if you already saw the 1 Week Portrait, if you already went through it, please let me know, and let me know what you think about it into the chat. I can't see the chat right now, but Fabian will make the comments. And I want to say big thank you, basically. Were you saying something, Fabian?
I just said, yep. Do you want me to?
Thanks for that comment.
That's the $1 million. That's the. Well, I'll let you keep going.
Thanks. All right. So I wanted to say thank you, guys. Paintable has a little bit more than a year now, and it's all because of you. The first class that we did, me and Fabian, through Paintable was the Beginner Toolbox. At the time, we've been able to reach about 4,500 people. Then we did the 1 Week Portrait, the one that I just showed you. Really, really proud of this one. We've been able to reach almost 14,000 people. And to top it off, my big thank you is thank you for your support, guys. Paintable.cc, like I said, has been about a year, a little bit more than a year. We've been able to reach more than 500,000 people through that, teaching through all sorts of tutorials. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Since then, we've been able to approach lots of new instructors that have been able to reach bigger variety of teaching, basically. So yeah, it's been an awesome journey so far. I would like to know a little bit more about you before I go further in this presentation. So which of the following best describe your relationship to digital painting? Is it A, never heard of it, I was told there'll be free stuff here? Well, stick around, there'll be free stuff. B, I've seen some digital painting online and I wanted to see what is it all about. Is it C, I really enjoy painting, it's one of my favorite hobbies? Or is it D, digital painting is my life and I'm ready to become a pro? If you could just put that in a chat, I would absolutely love that, to know a little bit more about you. And while you do this, well, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about me and that little boy that you see right there. Two hilarious pictures of me when I was, I'm going to say 7, I'm not actually sure, just to show you that painting and drawing and art in general has always been my passion. It's always been something that I really love. Even though I was really not good at the time, I think on the left picture, I'm just putting color into stamps, basically. But it's always been a really, really good passion of mine. And all my life, I had that burning desire inside my chest, inside my head. I had these great ideas in my imagination, those portraits, those fantasy, those dragons, those landscape, name it. But I just couldn't put them on canvas. It was really, really hard for me. You know, when we don't have, especially when I was young, and I had the knowledge that I had today. And I could paint okay at the time. Sometimes it was okay, sometimes it was a little bit more than okay. Sometimes it was so terrible that I was just destroying the piece of paper and never talked about it again. But never more than that, basically. And I looked upon my favorite artists with so much admiration all the time. I was going either in museum or over the web and going just, wow, like, how do you do this? What do you eat in the morning to get so good, basically? They were like perfect imagery, perfect perspective, perfect coloring, perfect lining. I was absolutely in admiration, and I really, really wanted, that was one of my biggest goals in my life at that point. It was to be to that level. I wanted to be a pro. They were so good. I was just so much in admiration. And I really love the feeling, and you tell me if you love the feeling as well. I mean, there's no shame in that. I really love the feeling when people go over my work and be like, hey, David, that's really good. Good job. That moment that you realize that people appreciate your creative thinking, that you're able to create something from scratch with your tool on, and people appreciate it. I think since the beginning, that's the one thing that pushed me forward. Let me know if that's the same thing for you. It pushed me forward to actually get better at this, for me, as well as just the warm feeling of people appreciating it. And I would have never told that to anybody at the time. But in my back of my head, I always wanted to be a little bit of a rock star of the art world. I remember looking at the work from Picasso to Dali to Van Gogh, and just being a little bit in admiration and be like, wow, like, how would it be to actually be a master at this and be really, really good? I didn't know how to get there at that point, but I was a little bit dreaming of this. But like everybody, at some point, I've been, like I said, all my youth, I've been drawing. And at some point, I got to the moment, I think I was about 18, I guess, finishing high school. I went to the council to ask, to have a discussion on what my life would take a direction, what I'm going to do when I'm going to go to work, or, basically what's the next step in my life. And I remember this because he asked me the question, what do you want to be? And I said, well, I would like to do something artistic. I would like to be an artist, or, be creative, basically. And I'm pretty sure that the words were like, David, come on, be realistic here. Being an artist is not a job. And I was like, all right. You know what? I heard that speech before, the speech of like the starving artist. I was like, all right, cool, but what can I do then? And he pointed me into the direction of graphic design. At the time, it was looking like the best of the two worlds. I was like, all right, I'll be creative and I'll make some money. Well, why not, right? So I went to graphic design, didn't thought about it twice, and did it for about 10 years. And, from time to time, it was creative, I got to say, but most of it was really, really not. I don't know if there's graphic designer in the audience tonight. You should let me know. For me, placing a logo a little bit more to the left or to the right was just not creative enough. Basically, each time that I was going back home, I was, for years, I was just still drooling like a dog on a hot summer day in front of my computer being like, you know what? I don't want to be a graphic designer. I want to be an illustrator. I want to create imagery. And I was just getting obsessed by that idea. One day I was at work and as a good employee, I was procrastinating on Instagram, like good employee. And I stumbled upon that picture. That's a picture of a studio in New York, the studio of Sam Spratt. Let me know if you know Sam Spratt in the chat. I'm in admiration on that guy. He is so good. And at the time, we're talking years ago, I was following him and I've stumbled upon that picture and I realized something. If that's the studio of a starving artist, then I really want to be a starving artist. He was looking like he was really making it. I remember that he was doing artwork for pop stars, and he was in New York, a beautiful studio, making drawings for like really good companies. I was like, well, definitely if he's able to do it, I'm able to do it. And I was like, all right, maybe in oil and watercolor, it's going to be harder for me to actually make a living out of this, but he was doing digital paintings. And I was like, all right, well, maybe that's the key. So I didn't ask myself twice, and I just jumped on the opportunity to buy myself a tablet. And from a day to another day, I started to practice every day. I was going back from work, from a really hard day when I was depressed and just procrastinating all day, going back super excited, like a puppy jumping everywhere on my tablet for hours. Well, sometimes 20 minutes when you have the time. And sometimes I was putting out all night long, just trying to push my craft. And I did that for years, literally. For years, trying to really, really good. I was going over the internet, got really, really inspired, seeing something that was blowing my mind. I was like, all right, jump on my computer, work 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And the results were just catastrophic. I was like, all right, so there's something here that doesn't work, obviously. I'm just going to put more time, right? So a little bit more time, another hour, another 2 hours, another day. And I was pushing and pushing, but it was never as good as it was in my head. I was still not able, like I was a kid, not able to put my vision down onto the canvas. And I was super frustrating, putting more time and more time and more time to a point that I was just putting scratchy lines on my drawing, trashing the document and be like, you know what? Let's start a new one, right? And I was like, all right, no problem. I'm going to go on the internet. I'm going to go over YouTube. I'm going to Pinterest. I'm going to find those speed paintings. And I was like, ooh, that's so nice. And people are so good. And all right, I'm inspired again. I'm going to go back to my computer. I'm going to do that again. And same results.
Did you make those exact sound results?
Definitely the sound result. And I was really, really depressed at the time because I really wanted to actually make a switch of career at that point. I was done with graphic design. I really wanted to do this. And I remember like creating a few pieces and being like, you know, confident enough to put it online, and crickets. Nobody cared. Absolutely nobody. I think maybe my mom liked one of them, and I was like, I trashed the image after that. Basically, I was just not getting the results that I wanted. So at that point, I got very, very frustrated, but I started to realize something. When I was painting, it was going like this. I was painting, was putting all my effort in it. And at some point I was like, oh, okay, right. I need to change the value in the rendering here. So I was working on this, you know, and while I was doing this, I was like, all right, but now that I fixed the rendering at that section, or the lighting over there is kind of wrong. And fixing the lighting was actually changing the colors. So now I had to fix the colors. And while I was fixing the colors, then I realized that the hair was not going, the texture was not going as well. Now it was the hard and soft edge not working. The facial anatomy was all wrong. And it was the edge control, the lighting. There was so much, Doing everything at the same time just doesn't work. It was so overwhelming. I had too many things to do. I was trying to do everything at the same time. It was getting so frustrated. So at some point I was like, all right, take a moment here. I need to either quit it or find a way to work. This is my last chance. And that's when I realized that I was doing everything wrong. I was trying to do everything at the same time, learning everything at the same time. I wanted to be the perfect artist from day one, just sit down in front of my computer and being able to do it. But I was not breaking down that giant bulldozer of digital painting. And when I did that list, realizing that I was trying to fix everything there and there and there, I just made a list of all that, break down them into chunks, into pieces, and realized that if I was concentrating on each of them, I was actually able to do it, putting the finishing line and do it in a fast way with amazing results. And that's why it changed all my way to actually practice. I started to see results from day one. You see, for years, I've been doing the same thing, trying to push myself, and I went from like no result to like okay result. And when I realized that I was able to break down everything and just go one by one, in a matter of weeks, I've been able to see drastically good result. For me, that changed everything when I started to actually draw. I realized that I was doing a formula. And that formula at the time I didn't know, but it's called acting learning. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, guys, by the way. So acting learning was this, basically. There was a formula that was able to change that formula for everything that I wanted. From from portrait to concept art to character design. No matter what, finally I had a plan. I had a checklist that I was able to actually fit it out. And that changed everything. From day one after that, I was able to actually build myself a portfolio. I started to do studies, like the two at the left here are studies that I was actually able to put on Society6, and finally starting to see money. I could finally call myself a professional from that time because I was actually making money. And I had a few months after this, and I had my first commission, and I was just amazed. I was finally able to think about to quit my job and be an illustrator for real. So that active learning plan really did change my life. And when I started to realize that, I realized that I was not the only one struggling with this, and a lot of people will actually benefit from there. And at the time I was in Berlin, and I decided to hold on my first workshop. That's a picture of my first workshop, guys. I think we were 10 at that moment. How many are we in the chat today? We were 10 at that time. And since then, I never looked back. I've been teaching this, and I saw amazing results with my students. That's one of the first workshops also that I did. I'll show you a little bit more later. That was one of my students, and in 6 weeks, he's been able to do something absolutely amazing. You can see the results, they speak by themselves. And today, I want to teach you about this, guys. I want to teach you about active learning. I hope you're excited. Obviously, I hope I don't speak too fast. Let me know in the chat. Maybe I have too much energy here. All right, so
slightly. Hey, can I just stop you for a sec, David?
Yeah, I'll take a sip of something while you do that.
I can tell you, I can tell you're very excited to get started because you just hit the ground running. So while you keep going at this point, I just wanted to jump in because you completely forgot to introduce me. Thanks for that.
Sorry.
How do I know David's super excited? I just wanted to let you guys know that during the presentation, I'm going to be in the chat. I'm going to be watching all your questions. And if you guys have any questions at any point, you can just ask them in the chat. And if needs be, I can interrupt David. Otherwise, we'll have a Q&A at the end too. So we can cover that there. So yeah, I hope that that all sounds exciting so far. Is everybody still with us? Has David hopefully not talked you away at 300 miles an hour? I hope you guys are actually excited for all this. With that, I'll let you get back to it, David. So,
all right.
Cool.
So sorry for that, guys. This is Fabian. So anyway, let's go back at this, guys. So active learning is what we're going to dig in today. And it's obviously to make the difference between passive learning and active learning. Now, let me teach you about passive learning first. Passive learning looks like this. And you tell me if it's something that you're already doing. You get an idea, you get super excited, you fire Photoshop, and you start painting right away. I say Photoshop, but it can be Krita or any software that you have. You watch occasional speed painting for random tricks and techniques, you get super excited by it, you get back to it. You learn little by little with each painting, often without even realizing it. You see, passive learning is okay. It's great. Everybody loves to paint. I love to paint. You love to paint. That's great. And every time you paint, you do improve a little bit by bit. But here's the problem with passive learning. It's really slow and it takes years to get really good this way. It will rarely finish anything, which is going to demotivate you, absolutely. It can be difficult to see improvement and get a feeling of accomplishment because if you don't finish anything, the feeling of accomplishment you won't get. And you're not actively getting really good at any specific thing. You're just painting for painting. So to change all of that, we're going to learn active learning. You see, active learning will supercharge your learning. It's going to be what we're going to teach you today. It looks like this. Using a roadmap, a game plan, breaking everything down into chunks, working backward to feed those chunks into your time available. Now, maybe you are a full-time student. Maybe you work full-time. Maybe you're a full-time student that work at night, that has a family. Everybody has a different schedule, right? You need to fit those things into your schedule. And it's using specific exercises. And that's very important. Specific exercises that will unchain your potential faster. The difference is this: rather than trying everything at once, like I was doing with my first paintings, trying to fix everything back to back, is breaking everything down and working smart to learn the chunks of digital painting bit by bit. All right? Everybody's following so far? All right, so I'm guessing that you want to supercharge your practice with active learning. I'm pretty sure you do. I'm just going to say this for the beginning. So before we begin, this is not a how-to paint whatever tutorial, okay, guys? We're going to have some quick tutorials. I'm going to show some quick exercises, but this presentation is really bigger than this, okay? I won't be teaching you specific painting techniques today. Instead, I'm going to show you how to use exercises to improve your way faster than ever thought possible. And I'll be giving you a set of keys you need to unlock your potential, your own potential, and put gasoline on that fire on your passion. I'm going to make sure that your passion becomes even more big that you have right now. And I hope that sounds exciting, guys. So without saying, I'm going to start right away. This is the ultimate formula to master digital painting in 7 steps. Step 1. All right. I remember, guys, you don't have to take notes. I'm going to give you all that later. Step 1, set your destination. All right. A good destination is like a compass. It's going to help you guide everything you do, giving you much stronger result. And I'm going to give you an example here by what I mean by destination. All right. So if you think that destination is like something like learn digital painting, you're wrong. This is way too big. This is not precise enough. And if you do this, it's like pushing that big bulldozer of a rock that I was showing you earlier. A better destination is going to be learn digital portraiture, learn environmental painting, move from traditional to digital painting. You see, those are better because they're more precise. But if you want to go a step further than that and have a perfect destination, you want something that is even more measurable. So learn enough about digital painting to feel comfortable holding a workshop teaching in your city, all right? That's one I give myself. And when I did it, I was really, really happy. Get a portrait painted, featured on a cover of Imagine Effects magazine, or paint a Korean series of 20 futuristic landscapes so good I can use them to apply as a job for a concept artist, for example. You see, those are better. They're perfect, actually, to my own knowledge. Make sure your destinations are specific and measurable. That's going to make a huge difference. Now, I hear you. Maybe you have more than one destination. You're like, all right, I want to do portraiture, I want to do landscape, I want to do this, that. And that's okay. But try to focus on only one at the time. This way, you're going to reach it faster. You're going to see better results, and you'll be able to learn more than one back to back, all right? And it's okay if you don't have a clear vision of what you want yet. I'm going to show you a few tricks for that. If you don't know your destination yet, you don't know exactly what you want to do with digital painting, then hack your favorite artist. And I say hack, not copy, all right? Find your 3 all-time top inspiring digital painting that really makes you go, wow, all right? You excited? That's really good. Try to analyze them and see what's inspiring for you in them, all right? Those inspiration will become your destination. If you're excited, that's good. So work towards that, and that will be your destination. Everybody's following so far? So that's step 1, guys. Step 2 is set specific goal. You know where you want to go now, so we need to get there. So we need to put that down on paper. So how do we get there? So basically, you want to set yourself goals, and you want to set sub goals, all right? You want to do those chunks we were talking about. You want to break that down to the smallest bite you can absorb and learn. So these don't need to be exact scientific plan here. You probably won't know exactly what all the sub goals you need, all right? But the point is to get a good idea so you can start learning from day one and focusing on your studies right away. I'm going to give you an example again. If you were to want to get a portrait painted, featured on the cover of Imagine Effects, all right? How I would approach this is like this. I would make myself a plan, right? And I would find myself the chunks, the goals. So learning facial anatomy, understanding hair, learning to paint skin texture, learn how to add dramatic lighting. Those are just 4 examples. I could have put 10, I could have put 20. That is really up to you. Once you find those goals, your job is to find the sub goals. So it's to break those down. So facial anatomy, what do I do for this? Well, Andrew Lumie's technique is really good for that. I'll be able to actually know the structure and the anatomy of a head. Then learning anatomy of the eyes, of the nose, of the lips. Those are 4 examples. I could put, once again, 10, 15 of them. That's really up to you. And I'm going to do the same thing for the hair, the skin texture, and the dramatic lighting. This way, I have the smallest bite I can actually start learning. And it's a checklist, basically. It's a step-by-step. I know focusedly, I'm focused on what I want to learn. And you're going to start seeing results way faster this way. Step 3. You let me know, guys, if I go too fast, all right? I hope you're excited about this. Step 3, set a timeline, all right? Now we have a destination. We know how we're going to get there. You need to put yourself a timeline because a timeline would keep you accountable and focused by adding a sense of urgency, all right? When's the last time, that you did something for yourself, that you put a sense of urgency? When you're at school, yes, you have a sense of urgency. You have a deadline. Work, same thing. But when you do your hobby or, you're learning by yourself, it's kind of hard to do. So you need to force yourself and put a timeline on what you're doing. That's going to help a lot. Example here, learn facial anatomy. I could put myself 8 weeks, let's say, all right? It could be 6, it could be 10. The idea here is to get to know how much time it's going to take you to do this. For 2 reasons, like I was saying, it's going to help you get there faster, but also at some point, if you want to be a professional at this or do any commission, even if you want to be a professional full-time, you'll do some commission at some point, some portraiture maybe for friends or family. People will want to know how much time it's going to take you, and that's going to be valuable information for you to learn before. Now, remember that if you don't complete a sub-goal on time, it doesn't mean that you have failed. There's no such thing as failing when you're learning. It does mean you need to revise your timeline and get back on track, though, and that's all. You just have to put yourself a bit more time, and if you do it faster, then good for you. Basically. Step 4.
Guys, remember also that if you can't read those sub goals, all the stuff in there, I know it might be going a little bit too fast to read all the things in there. Those will be in the PDF again, as David said before. So don't worry if it goes a little bit fast. You can review those exact things in there afterwards. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast, guys. We have so much to cover, but I'll try to get slower. Find a community. That's step 4, guys. So far we have the destination. We have our goals, we have our timeline. Now it's time to surround yourself with people that are like-minded like you. Artists, basically. So here's what you should do. Like, it can be super intimidating to put yourself out there at first. I know for me, it was really, really hard. When I started to just share my work, I was actually shit scared, for lack of a better word. Surrounding yourself with people that share the same goal is important. Find an accountability buddy to regularly share your goals and timeline and seek for help, all right? If you don't have a community around you, Fabien is going to give you a link later. Don't go anywhere. We have so much stuff to cover still. Don't go anywhere. We're going to give you actually a good community that me and Fabien was started about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that has seriously the best people in there.
Fabien, yeah, if you guys aren't already in it, we actually have an open public free group on Facebook. That's pretty cool. So I will remind me afterwards. I'll send you guys a link. So if anyone wants to connect in there and find some other like-minded people, yeah, that's the place to do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good one. People in there give great feedback, and it's not a scary one. Like if you already know, like Level Up, for example, Level Up is awesome for inspiration. But when it comes to share your work there, it can be really intimidating because most of the people that share their work there are professional. And, it's always, if you just want to have some good feedback from people, it's not necessarily the best place to go. But the one we're going to give you later, it's amazing. You'll see. So sharing every day, every week, every month will not only help with your self-confidence, but also provide you with crucial support, critique, and feedback while you're building accountability. So it's really important. But like I said, we're going to fill you the blanks here and give you a good one later. Step 4. Now that you know all this, you know where to go. Very important. You need to find a way to get there by practicing, all right? So you need to do some work at some point. So I'm going to show you some example, but before I do, keep your tablet plugged in. Instead of keeping it in a tablet tucked away in a drawer, keep it right in front of you and replace your mouse with your tablet. Let me repeat this one. Replace your mouse with your tablet. You want to use your tablet for everything. That's the best way for you to actually get good at this, is to learn that tool at the best possible. So if you can do everything with your tablet, then you'll be fine. So that's a really good one. Then if you want to concentrate on something, especially if you do it, in after work or after school, where you're maybe a little bit more tired, easiest for you to get disturbed, make sure to turn off your TV. Close everything, internet browsers and everything. You don't want to be distracted. Turn off the notification for your phone. You don't have to do it for the all day, but the time that you're practicing, it's going to be important that you actually focus. That's going to help you. From there, you just need to find yourself exercises, okay? Today, I want to show you 3 small exercises that I really like doing, that I did when I started, actually. And those are just 3 examples, but I really wanted to share them with you guys. So I'm going to switch to Photoshop here and just show them to you. So yeah, if you have any question, I won't answer them initially while I'm doing this, but Fabien's going to take note of them, and we'll answer them at the end, at the Q&A.
If it's something like super related, just pop them in the chat, and I'll see whether it merits stopping you or whether we do it at the end.
All right, sounds good. So the first one I wanted to show you guys is imagine the form geometrically. Now, when I teach this one, most of people go, aha, because it's so simple. It's something you can do on every time, on every minute of your day, on an everyday basis, basically. It's a way to observe the world, and that's simple as that. So if you already know how to paint with a tablet, then you'll agree that painting with a tablet can be really difficult from time to time when it comes to make curves, right? Like if I were to try just one straight here, you see that it's kind of wobbly, right? It's really hard. It's because curves are really, really hard. A good way to see the proportions, especially when you do observational drawing, is to imagine everything geometrically. What I mean by that is this. Imagine the bottle like this. It's going to be much easier for you to, after that, being able to create it. From there, you'll be able to, all right, so I'm going to start the contour, all right, goes from there to there, and then, all right, there's a bit of an angle here. And obviously, this is not how I want to draw. I'll need to put some curves. But when you start sketching and seeing things like that, then you can go ahead and just start curving everything. But you see that I'm not so far from here. Just because I've been able to imagine it geometrically, it helped me a lot. And it's really good when it comes to rendering. That's the top reason, I would say. Because if you want to render something from imagination, trying to render all the small details that's on the bottle right now, that's going to be really, really difficult. But if you were to imagine a cone like this, just a very perfect cone, you would be able to actually imagine the lighting coming from different angles much easier. And even when it comes to details on it, you can just simplify them as geometric shape. And therefore, I would be able to just take a selection like this, for example, just close it. So it's really like, you know, it's really simple. Just make a selection, make the selection right here. And then take a saffron brush, for example, and just being able to paint a very basic shadow on this. So to imagine everything in geometric shape, it sounds like ridiculous, but it helps so much. Look at everything around you. Even right now, everything has curves. But when you imagine them with sharp angles, it's going to help you draw them. So that was the first one I wanted to show you. The second one that I wanted to show you, I call it analytic comparison. And this one is really, 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 really good. It's something that I actually use on pretty much every exercises. Usually when I do something, I do that analytic comparison. It works this way. You need to have some reference for this one, all right? So I have already some reference. And for this example, I'm going to make a side view portrait. So if I were to practice portraiture, all right, and I see a lot of people doing that mistake. They would go, all right, so today I want to practice portraiture. It's either they'll do just one portrait and then call it a day. But if you know better, then you'll do a few of them, right? And what they'll do, they'll go like, all right, I'm going to do front view, side view, three-quarter view from the bottom. Basically, each time they're going to make one, they're going to change the angle. And that's a mistake. When you do this, then you don't register all the small details and small imperfection that you're doing. But if you're doing all the same, all the side view, for example, then you're going to start really learning and imprint that image in your head. And once it's going to be in your head, you'll be able to actually draw from imagination. So this exercise goes like this. First, you want to start with your imagination. You don't look at your reference right now. So you just want to start. You'll be like, all right, I'm going to start. What's a sideways portrait in my head? What I remember of it, all right? So I know there's a jaw here, right about there, and then there's a neck. Now I'm just going to clean that a little bit. And then I'll be like, all right, so there's a nose here, some lips there. And now around about here, then you got this, got that. And whatever my imaginations remember from it, I'll be like, all right, so this is a side view portrait. Bang. That's how I remember it. Now from there, I'm going to open my references. I'm going to choose one. I really like one of them here. I really like this one. So I'm going to make a copy. Control J, Command J on a Mac. And I'm going to place them side by side. And now what I'm going to do is observe, all right? I don't want to have the image there when I draw. I want to remember. So I'm going to observe for a minute. I'll be like, all right, for what I see, the eyebrow should be a little bit in that angle, and the hair has that shape, and the head is way larger here. The jaw is very square. I'm going to put all that in my memory. I'm going to mask that image. And now I'm going to start again with the memory and working on my memory. That's how you work from imagination, guys. So first thing I'll do is the circle, which is usually the artist thing. I'll call that a circle for now. And then I'm going to go, for those that know already the technique of Andrew Loomis, I'm going to start with this. So with the line here, it's going to be the eyebrow line. And now I was saying that he had a pretty square jaw, so that's going to be the jaw. That's going to be the neck here. So I'll be all right. So he has a really strong neck. I'm just going to clean a little bit what's in there. And he had an eyebrow that was going down. Then I'm just going to place the eye right there. From here, I'm going to put the nose. Going to get a little closer. The nose, first lip, second lip, and then just going to clean that a tiny bit. My computer is a bit lagging, so it's a bit hard, but I'll do my best. Then, for what I remember, he had like some sort of an angle when it comes to forehead, and then he had a wavy kind of line here, was going down, and then he had quite a big ear, for what I remember, a really square jaw, wavy hair like this. All right, so now I did that by imagination. Like I didn't have any like reference beside me. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the same reference and I'm going to repeat the process. And I'm going to do that until I get to the result that I want, basically. And this way, the image is going to be imprinted in my head. So after a certain time, I won't even need to look at references, and I'll be able to put a sideways view of a head just by imagination. How cool is that? So that's the second one I wanted to show you. The third one, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you, or even for me. It's actually one of the one that makes me quite sweat when I do it, and I'm doing it all in front of you guys. So this one is called it's called focus repetitive thumbnailing. All right. What you want to have is this sheet, and you want to have like a picture here at the top left, something in black and white. We want to focus on values. This exercise is going to help you to render, basically. So what you want to do is start painting values only. So you don't want to do outlines. And you want to time yourself. Usually what I like to do is maybe 10 minutes here, then 15 here, then 20 or 10, 10, 10. Basically, you want to put around about an half an hour to 45 minutes. If you're new at this, you put more time. The key here is to do it by steps, all right? You don't want to go in details. You want to first start by painting the big values. So I won't be able to finish it all, I think. I'm pretty sure, actually. I'm just going to show you guys the beginning. So the way I would approach this, I would start with a value that it's not too dark at the beginning, but something in a mid-range value. And I would start with geometric shapes. That way it's easier for me to actually put a geometric face. After that, I can put the... And that's why I'm not able to concentrate when I paint. I'll put the details afterwards. I do that often when I do lives.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, definitely.
So now who wants to pop in with some really difficult questions to ask him?
Exactly. That would be the perfect moment. Just keep on talking. It's perfect. So as you can see, I'm just going to put like the big contour here, and then I'm going to fill up that shape. So just going to do it like real fast here. So that would be the first thing that I want to do. I'm going to establish the big shape right there. So it's basically a silhouette at this point, and I observe it with geometric shape. I could talk about the measurement here. I won't go too much, but if you guys went to my 1 week portrait class, you probably have already seen how I measure. So I'm just going to try to correct this a little bit. And then I'm just going to go a little bit more precise. So like the nose, for example. The nose is a bit more large here. So I'm just going to do this. And then it curves inside. It's important to take more of your time. And obviously this is the moment where it's like it's kind of boring to watch. So I'm going to try to be as fast as I can. But
I don't think it's not boring to watch at all. Is this new for everyone? Have you guys, have any of you done any or seen any of these exercises before? And also, are you following along with everything? Is it like, is the speed okay still? Anna's saying it's not boring at all. So there you go.
All right, cool. So I'm doing just the contour for now. And then I'm going to place just the hair. There's a bit of hair here. So let's say I have this shape for now. Now I want to paint values only. So I want to concentrate only on values, no lines. And you don't want to go in detail. You want to stay like far away from it. So I'm going to put something a little bit more dark here. And I'm going to start painting just the big portion. So all the hair here, I see that it's darker. So I'm just going to paint some darker tone right here. Then you want to use the photo in the places to start measuring. So I see that there's a jawline here, so that's going to help me for the measurement. So I'm going to go and place my jawline. It goes right about here, and then it goes up. And then I know that I got my ear, so I'm going to use that as a measurement as well. I'll be like, all right, so I got an ear right about here. And I could take more of my time, but I'm going to try to, should be a little bit more back, I think. So I'm just going to push it a tiny bit. And then because of the ears there, I know that my hair is going to start right there and then do right about this. All right. I'm going to place the eyebrow, which kind of look like a line, but it's really a good one to actually start your measurements. So I'm just going to put the eyebrow to help me measure all the rest of the stuff. That's why I see the difference between this, and I see, all right, it's kind of good. And then I see that there's a lighter value here. For the eye, I'm not going to go in detail. I'm going to place a triangle at this time. All right, this is the first stage. I don't need to go in detail. I'm going to place a triangle. Then it's a bit more light there. I see that there's a patch of almost white. don't go too white. If you go too pale, like almost like I did now, it's going to be hard later to get back to it. I'm just going to place the basic values right now. So that's basic value. Then you want to see patches as like being like little squares and stuff. So I see there's a little square in front of the eye of kind of a dark shape here. There's another one just over the nose, just right there. You guys can see this? And then I see there's a patch of white under the eye, just like that. And right now I'm not trying to blend too much. I'm just placing the patches. There's another one under this one. And pretty much the rest of the illustration is darker. There's another one here. So that would be like the first step, right? I'm just going to push it a tiny bit more, guys, for you.
Hey, do you mind if I jump in with one or two questions from the chat?
Go for it.
So we had a question from Andrea, who's asked, set the gray base. Why don't you use clipping layers in this sizes or in this exercise?
Why am I using clipping layers?
Why don't you? So after you do the gray base at the bottom.
Oh, well, what I'm writing, I'm actually using the lock layer right now. So everything that I'm painting is actually inside this. I'm not using clipping layers because I want to paint on only one canvas. At this point, it's not about using a ton of layer. It's really more about learning how to place the values at the right places. So you want to actually have difficulty here. You don't want to use the power of layers. You want to kind of have a hard time placing the values, taking your time. If I were to use layers and start, like, you see, I didn't delete anything so far. Did you see? Like, I'm not trying to delete. I'm just trying to paint the values and use my observation basically to do the work.
Cool.
I hope that was answering the question.
Yeah, I think so. Also, do you like what brush do you use for this? Is it just
I'm using like one of the normal brush that I have that has a little bit of texture in it. A little bit of texture is going to help me for the look that doesn't look like too plasticky. But at this point, as long as you have a brush that has a bit of not transparency, but transfer on it. And I'm not going to go in detail for this, guys, but if you know what transfer is, it's basically when it goes in transparency like this. That's all you need to do this exercise, really. So here I'm just going to place some few patches here. Like this is supposed to be wider. And then I'm going to use just that's a blending tool here. Once again, I don't want to go too much in details. I'll tell you later where you can find those tools. So basically, this would be, let's say, my first batch. I'm going to add maybe a little bit more of white over here because there's some more white. And then I'm just going to blend it a little bit like this. But basically, that would be my first draft at it. Once you did that, and let's say that it's probably like a few minutes, it's not 10 minutes, but let's say that would be like 10 minutes. What I would do is I would take this, make a copy, put it over here, and I would continue working on this one. And this time I would get a little bit closer and start putting a little bit more detail, spend another 10, 15 minutes on it, and then move to the other one. And this is going to help you with blending because you have to start from far away. You have to only focus on the patches of light and values, and you cannot paint any detail until you get close enough. So very, very good one. I hope you like those exercises, guys. I'm going to show you a lot more, but I have more stuff on the presentation. So that's going to be all for the exercise for now. I'm going to switch back to the presentation. Let me know in the chat what you think about those. If those are new, if you think they're useful and everything, I would love to have your feedback on them. So those three were imagining the form geometrically, analytic comparison, and focused repetitive thumbnailing. So now we have the destination, we have our goals, we have our timeline, we have our community, we know how to do the work. It's time for you to track your progress. Lots of people think that they didn't learn anything, you know, that they started and whatever they have in front of them is the result of like doing nothing, but it's not true. You've been already learning a lot of material. You just forgot about it. So that's why it's important to track your progress. You see, regularly keeping track of progress, make notes of the work you've done and the sub-goal you achieve. When you feel like you aren't getting anywhere, guys, and everybody feels like that from time to time, get a boost of motivation by looking at your notes and see how much work you already achieved. That's a boost of energy that is free for you to have. Just keep track of it, all right? So as an example here, I would have my sub goals, my goals, my sub goals, my timeline. And each time I finish something, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, but it means that I spent enough time on it, that I'm happy with the results. Then I crush it. The progress is done, and that's going to help you push your work because you'll feel happy each time to just crush it. It's very powerful to actually being able like, all right, I did this. All right, cool.
Translates David's cash meaning check.
That's French. Sorry. All right. So yeah, for people that didn't know, my first language is French, so I'm doing my best here. All right. So step 6 was that. Step 7, very important step, very exciting step actually. You have to you have to build yourself a habit. That's super powerful, and it's easier than you think. So the importance of building a habit is this. Just painting whenever you have time is okay, but to seriously improve, you need to build a habit. 30 minutes every day is far better than spending a whole Sunday on a painting, guys. If you want to spend 5 hours every day, then yeah, sure, fine. But otherwise, 30 minutes every day is much better. Doesn't have to be every day though. It can be something just consistent, something that you put in your schedule and you're like, all right, every Tuesday and every Thursday and a Sunday on 2, I'm going to paint. This way you have consistency, and that's going to go a long way. Habits free up your mind, so you're capable of concentrating on a higher level when you sit down in front of a computer. Basically, it's literally like this. It's scientific, right? If it's on your schedule, you don't think, you don't stress about it. You just do it, and that's going to help you a lot. Building a habit will allow you to get through the dips and slumps every day. Now, I'm going to give you some tricks to get there, because starting a habit, you need to know how to do it. First step, start small. Don't think you can do that an hour every day. If you didn't do it for like the past 10 years, you won't be able to do it. And that's the mistake that most of people do. They get super excited. They're like, ooh, I'm going to be able to do that in 6 months, but they're starting too big. And then what happened? They don't have the time. And so they don't have the time. So what they do, well, they skip a day and they skip 2 days. And after 3 days, they're like, oh, well, I skipped that week. So I'll start next week. And then next week becomes next month. You see the pattern, right? So start with 5 minutes every day, just 5 minutes every day. Sit in front of a computer, open Photoshop, do a few lines, shut down Photoshop. Congratulations, you just started your habit. Then for the first week you do this. The second week you go 10 minutes every day. Ideally, you want to go up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you'll see amazing results, all right? 90 minutes, even better. Past 90 minutes, then it's because you become a pro and you're full-time, and that's another thing. But if you want to learn this, if you do 30 minutes every day, you're going to see amazing results. Step 2, plan it into your day and write it down. And when I say that, I mean physically. Everybody has an iPad, an iPhone, a laptop, computer of some sort, right? But if you physically write it down into your day planner or calendar, it's going to make a huge difference. Now, if you do not have a calendar or day planner, no problemo. You simply have to put it down into this world physically. So you want to put it down on a piece of paper, a Post-it or anything. Put it beside your bed when you go to bed and says on it, tomorrow I will draw at 5 o'clock, let's say, for 30 minutes. Doing this is literally going to stamp it in your brain. It's scientific here, literally. If you do this, you'll feel obliged to yourself to actually do it. It's going to help just sticking to it. And ideally, you want to practice at a similar time every day. I know for me, it's the first thing in the morning. Maybe for you, it's after work or after you put the children to bed or after school. That's not a problem, but trying to do it every day is going to help you to follow through on your habit. And step 3, to help you start your habit, you have to reward yourself. When you were in school, you were having grades, right? You were having an A, a B, or whatever. If you had an F, well, sorry. But if you had like a note, it was actually giving you like that reward, right? Well, it's the same thing. Even at work, if you're good at work, you get a promotion, right? If you do something for yourself, you have to reward yourself. 7 day, do something for yourself. It can be anything, right? Take out warm bath if you want. After 14 days, maybe you buy yourself something. It can be like as little as a chocolate bar, as long as you tell yourself, I'm buying this chocolate bar to reward myself for the work that I've done. And after 30 days, man, call the party. This is a huge accomplishment. You did great. You should celebrate, and I'm sure that your work itself is going to show as well. So just have fun on that and celebrate. Congratulations on this. Now, I want to show you this trick because this trick is amazing, and it works so well. I've been teaching that to my students for about 1.5 years now, and lots of them have been trying it, and they tell me that the results are amazing. It's called the X effects. So what you do is you print that sheet, and actually as a gift, guys, you don't even have to do this sheet. I'm going to give it to you later. Basically, you print that, and what you want to do is each time that you do your 5 minutes or your 10 minutes or your half an hour of work, you want to put an X in it, all right? And each time you put an X, it's going to become like a drug. I'm telling you, you'll be addicted to that X to a point that you put that sheet in front of you somewhere that you can't see every day, obviously, and you will just want to have it fill. It's magical. And that's going to help you actually continue on your habit. And if you don't believe me, then try to prove me wrong. And I'm telling you, you'll see that it's working. It's amazing. So that's a really good trick as well. And I just wanted to finish this with that quote here. It's this: we are what we repeatedly do. That's the word I'm not able to say. We are what we repeatedly do every day. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. It was Aristotle that says that years ago. And it's still very, very, very true. But now I hear you. You might be thinking, and I hear you loud and clear, that all sounds great, David, but how long would I really takes me to actually do this? I've heard that mastering a new skill takes 10,000 hours. You know, I have a job, I have a family, I have commitment, I have, you know, my grandma, whatever. I don't have time for this. I hear you loud and clear because I was thinking the same thing when I started. I really thought that for doing anything, you needed 10,000 hours to actually nail it. You know what 10,000 hours is? That's 8 hours every day for like 3.5 years, weekend included. Good luck. But you don't need that, okay? So what if I could tell you that you can become a skill painter as little as 6 weeks of focused practice, even if you have a full-time job? Would that be awesome? It would be awesome, right? I'm going to tell you a story here, all right? When I started to do actually illustration, I had a friend that about a week in interval of difference, he bought himself a guitar, all right? And I was really passionate about drawing. And so I was drawing. And when I was seeing him, we were talking about, you know, the progress that we were doing. And I saw that guy get so much better than me, so faster. And I was amazed. I was like talking to him. I was like, all right, what's your trick? Obviously, like you either like more smart than me or more talented or something. And he was like, David, it's none of that. It's just, there's a trick when it comes to learning guitar. There's 4 chords that you need to learn, and then you can actually play most of the pop song. And that's the thing that I had to actually Google after that. I was like, really? I don't believe you. And it's actually true. When you play guitar, there's 4 chords that if you play back to back, they're in most of the pop song. Therefore, what he did, he concentrated all his time for the first few weeks to learn those 4 chords, and he was able to play guitar like a, well, to me, like a pro, because I don't know play guitar. Who's playing guitar, by the way, into the chat? Let me know if you knew about this. And so that thing stick in my head, and I was like, well, this is brilliant, but you know, I don't do guitar. I'm doing digital painting, right? And I'm at the time I was really having trouble with it. And then it clicked. I was like, well, maybe I don't have chords, but how about I found the equivalent to those 4 chords? How about I find those bunch of techniques that if I practice them back to back, I'll be able to actually start creating pretty much everything that I want. And that's exactly what I did. I started to put on paper everything that I needed, from rendering to coloring to all those techniques that I needed to practice, all those exercises I needed to practice, and I just nailed them day after day after day after day after day after day. Until that, I was so good with them that I was seeing amazing results. And that really changed my perspective on that 10,000 hours mastery thing. Because to be a total mastery, yeah, being one of the best in the world, we're talking like maybe there's 10 people like this, yeah, it's going to take you 10,000 hours. That's absolutely true. But for the first stage of mastery, you know, mastering the building blocks that will allow you to paint nearly anything and have it a really, really good result, that's 20 hours of focused, deliberate, active learning. That's a promise, guys. It's a promise, and I got proof for this. You see, from there, everything snowballs. You feel more motivated because you feel like getting good results, and you get good feedback from people around you. So you know that feeling I was talking about, like people just appreciating your creative work. That's amazing. It makes literally miracles into your learnings to have people around you like pushing you and say, hey, good job. You might be even able to actually start your first commission after those 20 hours, because you're going to start basically like doing practice. Those practice are going to look so good, you'll be able to get some money, and then you're basically getting paid to practice. And that's pretty awesome, isn't it? So the trick here is this. Those 4 chords that I was trying to learn, it took me like 20% of effort, but it were giving me 80% results. The rest was just like icing on the cake, basically. And that makes a huge difference. What I did is I made a huge list of everything that I wanted to learn about digital painting, and I went into details in it. And then I just took exactly what I needed, the most important things. And instead of having a to-do list, it made myself a success list. And with this list done, the list that I was practicing every day, I was able to see amazing results. Now, that sounds amazing, right? The key is this. Learning everything is going to take you a long time, and that's normal. So, don't stress about it. But with laser-guided focus on only the most important things, that 20% I was talking about, those 4 chords of the digital painting, you can learn to paint just about anything in 20 hours of focused effort. 20 hours, guys. You need proof, right? Well, I did need proof, me too, because it did work for me, because that's what I did. But when I started to teach, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to play a little experiment here. I'm going to try to find those exercises that I did for myself. I'm going to put them down, and I'm going to create a class. And that was the first class that I created, guys. The very first class. I'm still teaching it to this day, actually. And I did that class with 50 beginners. People that had full-time jobs, students, they didn't have, they couldn't be like full-time students. And I planned 6 weeks of classes for 3 hours a week only. And I started to teach that. And I built them into order to make sure that the block that they would learn would actually like go upon each other. And the results were amazing. But they were starting for like very the beginning, right? Like this is example of this, the work that my students had at the beginning. Some of them knew already, like those are all traditional medias basically. They were okay. They knew how to do certain things, but as you can see, they were kind of beginners. So they started at that level. The first week, I've been teaching them how a few of exercises that I show you today. So doing the geometrically shape to start a portrait. And I base the whole thing on a portrait. I'll tell you why in a minute. But I base everything there. And so we're doing the geometry. Then we're learning about sketching. But before that, before the exercise, I was giving exercise on doing the lines on the tablets and make sure that they learn everything. So really from the beginning. So if they didn't know about Photoshop, they would get something to actually learn. So that was just week 1. After week 1, I also teach them a little bit about how the lighting's working, so how to place the lighting on head, how to blend, so different way to blend with soft round brush, the art edge brush, the mixer brush, and so on and so on. That was just week 1. Then week 2, we took that knowledge, started to build upon a portrait. So that was not to go into details, that was just to go, enough to understand where the lighting goes on a face and how you structure that and how you start blending a little bit. So nothing too complicated at that point. Week 3, we went a little bit more in details, teaching them how to do the nose, the eyes, all the features of the face, basically. So getting a little bit more in details. And now people were kind of starting to have some amazing results. So that's an example. That was Jennifer. You see the exercise on the left. After learning how to do the anatomy, she was able to actually put that with the rendering that she learned and to have a really, really nice portrait. I was starting to see results that I was just amazed by. Like Karina here just blew my mind. If you look from far away, I think that those two look like pictures instantly. I was just amazed by the result of the students. And we're talking about students that started really at the bottom, basically. Here on the 4th week, we're starting to learn about details, skin texture, and all that. Then we went to color harmony, how to blend color, how to put color from a black and white image, how to build it up, learn amazing tricks. I showed them a lot of exercise. That was an exercise to being able to put the colors from the picture, so perfect skin colors, or to add a little bit more of fantasy with different color style. And by the end of that class, people were able to actually build perfect portrait for what I consider perfect portrait. Actually, the class was called Perfect Portrait at the time. And as you can see, the result just speaks for themselves. I was blown away to see that if you do active learning, it's giving you results. Isn't that cool? Imagine you could actually do this into 6 weeks, right? If you were starting today, putting 6 weeks of work, like we said, having a habit, being able to put 30 minutes a day, how much do you think you would be able to learn? Like 6 months or 6 years from there. So now let me ask you a question. If you were to follow everything that I taught you today, to break everything down into chunks and then tackle the chunks one at a time, having your plan ready, do you think you could be able to be successful at this? Let me know in the chat. If you focus like those 20% I was talking, do you think you can do this too? Do you feel today like you have the knowledge now to do it? Let me know in the chat. If you're excited because you feel like you learned everything, you're like, yeah, well, that's good. If you're overwhelmed, that's okay too. There was a lot of material today, and you might feel a tiny bit like this right now, because I feel like I've been talking super fast and give you a lot of material at the same time. So at this point, for the people that survive, sorry, Fabian, what were you saying?
Highway. It has been an information highway. Sorry if it's overwhelming. I hope everyone's been able to keep up with everything.
So at this point, guys, I would like to ask you, I have actually prepared a little package for you guys, and I would like to present it to you. It's something that I put together so you can actually jumpstart your learning from today and get really good results. So if you're really interested in that, I would like to take maybe another 10, 15 minutes to present that to you. I would love to do that, basically. You let me know in the chat, and I will probably show you that, because I feel like I may brush over a few things, so we should like get a little bit faster, maybe or more details on the rest. You see, for me, it took me 7 years to do this, all right? And I learned it the hard way. I had to do it for the most part of it. I had to like do it by myself. That's A. And I need to break everything down. It took me a lot of time to actually know how to break times. That took me, I think, 2 years when I started to actually start to know, okay, I need to break down. I need to subdivide all that time and to find good, high quality lessons and tutorials and exercises and to build my own set of them. It took me a lot of time. It took me around about 7 years that I've been learning on that. But I don't want you to have to spend 7 years on this. I want you to be able to see results and not get the frustration that I had from day one. And for that, that's what I want to teach you. And I prepared today a bundle that I want to actually present you, that I actually want to give you, basically. I called it the Digital Painting Rocket Fuel Bundle. I hope you guys are excited, because this is a lot of material that I'm going to give you guys today that I'm really, really proud of. The first thing of that bundle is the Digital Painting Academy. Now, what is the Digital Painting Academy, guys? It's basically it's the recollection of all my knowledge. This is the project that me and Fabian have been working on. This is all the tutorial that I created, plus more, plus all the teachers that come with it. And me and Fabian could talk to you about it for hours. Absolutely. But we prepared a small video. And so I'm going to shoot that video so we have a better idea of what is digital painting and what I'm talking about.
Yep, cool. So yeah, exactly like David said, this has like been our brainchild for the last 2 years. We've taken everything from this presentation and really just tried to make this product that would encapsulate all of that and make just learning through all of that so much easier. So if it's okay with you guys, we're going to just quickly, I'm going to load this video up. Just wanted to give you guys a quick idea of what this is all about, because it's pretty exciting. And yeah, I hope it's as exciting for you guys. So I'm going to put that on now. Let me know in the chat if you can hear it and see it, please. That would be awesome. So enjoy.
To everyone that spent hours drooling over gorgeous painting on ArtStation, to everyone that watches speed paintings and think, damn, I wish I could do that. To everyone that dreams of one day being a world-class digital painter, concept artist, or illustrator, stop beating yourself up. You're closer than you think. You already have the passion. You just need a little bit of guidance, a push in the right direction, so you can take on this huge, overwhelming world of digital painting, all the frustration and hours of feeling stuck, and cruise through it all in a fun, straightforward way. Paint gorgeous painting from your imagination, develop your own badass style, be proud to show off your work. Want to know how? Here's how it works. We've taken everything we learned teaching thousands of students and built the Digital Painting Academy.
Many topics in digital painting are so big that they quickly become overwhelming. There's just so much to learn that you don't even know where to start. That's where we come in. We've broken everything down into bite-sized lessons, each leading to the next. So all you have to do is start at the top, and we'll lead you through it all step by step. In an ideal world, we could be learning digital painting all day long, but we understand that realistically, that's obviously not possible. So we've made it our mission to handpick the most important lessons so that when you do have a few hours to practice, you know you're getting the fastest results. You can watch free videos on YouTube, but they're often way too fast and can teach you bad habits that take years to unlearn. That's why we've included downloadable exercises with every lesson so you can build your confidence and start painting the right way from day one. Every month, you can submit your work and have an expert give you critiques, guidance, and feedback so you know exactly what you need to be working on.
Digital painting is for everyone, and it takes a lot less time to achieve with a minimum of structure. The key here is to learn the right thing in the right order.
Besides our ever-growing catalog of tutorials, Academy members will also get access to our Foundations class. This 6-part series is designed to help you master the building blocks of digital painting. It starts with the absolute basics and leads you through the whole process, step by step, until you can paint beautiful, full-color paintings of your own.
Are you ready to become a world-class digital painter? Join the Academy today and follow the lesson plan that have already worked for thousands of students like yourself.
All right, and I think that should be the video over. I hope everyone can hear and see us again. If you could let me know, this is where I always start sweating because this is my responsibility. So this is my responsibility in the webinars and making the tech work. So hopefully that actually worked. Did that sound exciting for you guys? Did all of that work for you? Like the video and everything?
Yeah, cool. Let us know in the chat what really. So like we were saying, this is the first thing of that bundle that we want to actually give you.
Your screen has stopped sharing, I think.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Might need to just quickly.
I'm going to get back to this.
Yeah. There's my webcam again.
This night now. So like we were saying, the Digital Painting Academy is all the tutorial that we put, and they're all built with the same system that I've been talking to you about today. And basically in that package, what I want to give you guys to help you into your learning, to make sure that you reach your goal and you're able to actually start painting from imagination like you want to, I'm going to give you 12 months of premium access to the Academy. What does that mean? It means the Academy is that huge library of 100 and plus. I think we have like 130 videos by now. And it's growing every week. We're adding some new stuff. You're going to learn about value, rendering, blending, painting interesting light and color, adding texture, details. I'm reading the list right now. There's everything basically that you want. Like there's a new artist that comes with us as a teacher now, and there's going to be a class on how to do dragons that comings. So even painting some creature is going to be in the plan. But you're also going to have the huge foundation, which is really important to learn. And what's fun in the Academy is everything is structured. So you just don't jump there and you go and you're that loose. We're going to guide you to make sure that you go step by step to get the results that you want from day one. Obviously, it's going to be full of exercises. Those are examples of exercises from the students from the Academy. We have, I don't want to shoot a number here, but I think we have more than 50 exercises for sure into the Academy. Maybe Fabian, you can come back on this and tell me how many we have in the Academy.
It's definitely it was over 30 last time I counted, but I lost count, but there's a lot. And there's more coming literally almost every week.
Yeah. The good thing about the Academy, it's also because everybody has a different schedule, right? It's available 24/7. It's online, so you can go through it your own pace. If you have, I say pace all the time, it's own pace. If you want to go in the morning before you're going to work, or after work, or on your lunch break, that's absolutely up to you. It's perfect if you're busy. Basically, if you want to build a habit and you have only like 10 minutes every day, there's actually videos that are that amount of time. We have a whole section based only for that. It's called the Quick Wins. I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit later. You don't have to waste time looking for lessons all over the web because everything is at the same place and it's structured. It's ready for you to learn step by step. On top of that, you got the mentoring. Mentoring is really important when you start, especially if you have any questions, having the feedback and support is really crucial when you start learning something. So we have a live critique every month. I go online, painting on your stuff. Basically, you can give us your work and I'm going to give you advice, do some paint over from time to time. It's very fun. It's a really cool event too. We really like to do it. And we have a buzzing community now of 700+ students. And those students and for those that are already from the Academy that are joining us, I want to say thank you guys. You guys are the best students that give feedback and just are super welcoming. And you need those people around you to just give you that support, and that community has been built from day one to actually do this and give support to each other. We're really, really proud
definitely.
of this.
I think
like
that's probably that's probably the best part for me is the fact, I mean, learning alone, learning's great, but learning alone it can get pretty lonely when you're just holed up in your bedroom sometime and you don't really know who to talk to and who you can get advice from. So just having that like peer support, I think is my favorite part of it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was like into like skateboard. I had a lot of friends doing skateboard, but nobody cared about drawing. If I were to talk to them about drawing, they would be like, whatever. But having people that you can talk about those things is really, really important. You can ask questions, accountability buddy. That's really, really, really important for us. And on top of that, it's results, really. The whole section of the Academy called the Foundation is based on that 6 weeks project that I talked to you about. Those results that I showed you, that actual foundation, it's in the Academy. It's really there for you. You can start literally today. And obviously the students were talking about it, so we put a few students in there. We have Seb saying, I learned more in 2 months of assignment than in 3 years in my art school. I was blown away by that comment, and I was so happy. I'll also have Jennifer here. I got more out of this than I did in a full semester class at university, and I didn't have to take a loan to do it, which is really important too. The videos are amazing and in-depth, and the structure of the class is perfectly paced to take through the process of painting without overwhelming you, which is absolutely important. Like we're saying, is to follow that list step by step without burning you out. You might ask yourself at this point, okay, fine, but is this for me? Well, it's not for everybody, right? It's for enthusiasts and certain people. Like if you're new to digital painting and you want to learn the right way, not waste years and years of frustration like I did, this is definitely for you. If you've done some digital painting, but you want to up your game and see dramatic improvement in your work and style, definitely for you. If you're looking for a friendly community, like we were saying, of like-minded peers to share your work and get some great feedback, definitely for you. If you have a full-time job, you're full-time students, you have a family, you have a lot of commitment, so you don't have a lot of time. But when you want to learn fast with the time that's available to you, definitely for you. And if you eventually want to be in a career, as a not a graphic designer, not a graphic designer, as an illustrator, a concept artist, or, anybody that has to do paintings, basically, you want to build a really strong foundation through digital painting, definitely for you. Now you may ask yourself this, and that's a fair question. I want to pair more than just portrait, David. Is this for me? Well, absolutely. You see, I based my teaching over what I call project-based. You see, I could teach my student to actually render a sphere or a cube. That's no fun. That's like, if you were to tell me like, I'm going to teach you how to paint, and by the end of the teaching, you'll be able to do the perfect cube. Well, it's not exciting. So what I did is actually I planned my whole foundation class towards a project base, which was a portrait, because obviously I love portrait, but also it gives my students to have a goal and they see an end result. And just that end result is going to give you a boost of energy when you're finished. But obviously, everything that we teach in that class is good for you to learn anything from landscape to concept art to character design. They are just the building blocks, the foundation that you need to actually learn everything. Did you want to say something about this, Fabian?
No, I think you got that pretty well. I mean, like you said, it's mainly, there's a lot of portrait stuff in there, but it's because it's teaching like the very fundamental things through portraiture, but it's applicable to so much other stuff, for sure.
So that's what I want to give you today, guys. That's the first step. And I'm putting the value here because I had a lot of students actually talk to me about how much they were paying in actually art school, because art school can be really expensive. I have students from the States that tell me that art school is like over $30,000 sometimes, even like I think up to $60,000. Can you imagine that? $60,000? You can buy yourself a house with that. It's kind of crazy. I wanted to tell you that a private art school, usually the value that you're going to get from the 12 months of premium access, which is what I want to give you today. I'm not going to charge you that, guys. I just want to put a price tag on this because this is the value you're going to get from a private art school, basically. And that's part of the package. That's the first thing, though.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry at that like price, by the way, because we're definitely not going to be charging you that. That's, like Dave was saying, that's an insane amount. So it's going to be a small investment, but like way smaller than that. But like so many students have already said, they've actually gotten more out of this than art school. So that was our goal with this today, is we wanted to really just layer on as much value as we could for you guys, for just like, but make it much more accessible than art school.
So that's the first step. Now I want to give you a lot more. Now that you have this, and I'll get to the price later, so forget about that price. For now, that's just the value. You're going to get the Academy. You're going to get the Academy for 12 months. And now I'm going to make sure that you have all the tools necessary to actually perform well into the Academy. So I'm going to give you what I called the Digital Artist Kickstarter Toolset Bundle. That was a handful to say. It's every premium tool that I actually designed for myself, all right? And I designed a lot of them since I started. I wanted to make sure to have tools for creating hair, because having the right brush when you create hair is helping you a lot. Texture brushes, all sorts of tips so you can actually create your own brushes, skin brushes, lots of step-by-step cheat sheets, beard brushes. I got gradient. I got a lot of material. We also have some process videos with voiceover. I want to give you that kit to make sure that you get a Kickstarter so you get even faster on your lessons. And if you're scared, you're like, all right, it's all good, but I don't know how to use hair brushes. Well, no worries. All the videos to teach you how to learn those tools are in the Academy. So now you can have those two tools and you'll be able to actually learn a lot faster and get the result that you want from day one. So you would have the 12 months of premium access to the Academy, the Digital Painting Artistic Kickstarter, that was a handful to say again, Digital Artistic Kickstarter Tool Bundle. I'm going to give you that, guys, today. But I'm not going to stop there. Now that you have your tools, you're also going to need to know how to get to your destination. Like I started this presentation, having a destination is really important. Maybe you want to be a concept artist. Maybe you want to be a character designer. Maybe you want to be a hobbyist. That's also good. Maybe you want to be an illustrator, an artist, whatsoever. What do you want to be? Ask yourself how you're going to get there. Obviously, I've been able to actually put all those things into this book. It's a PDF, just so we know. It's a PDF book with a few of the best way to get to your destination, basically. You're going to have a step-by-step, so you can actually follow and have a structured way to get your learning, to learn how to get there. So if you want to be a concept artist and you don't know how, this book is going to help you to actually get there. So if you feel overwhelmed by everything that you need to learn to reach your destination, and I know there's a lot of stuff to learn there, it's always fun to have a checklist for you to help you. So I'm going to give you this book with it. It's a bonus, so I'll give it to you. It's a crystal clear vision, so I'll achieve them step by step, like I was saying. Is that awesome? So I'm going to give you that, the 12 months, the Digital Artistic Kit Tool Bundle, the 5 simple game plans so you can reach there. And now, if you're at that point, you're like, all right, this is all good, but I don't know how to draw. Well, I plan also that if you want to learn digital painting and you don't feel comfortable drawing, I'm actually working right now on a class of 3 videos on how to draw. It's a crash course where I'm going to show you the favorite technique for me to actually get warm up and not being afraid of that white canvas. Because I know when I started to be an artist, sometimes I was sitting in front of my computer, I was having a white canvas. It can be really intimidating at first. You're like, all right, you step in front of them, you're like, okay, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. And you end up doing nothing, basically, because you're just too afraid. So I'm going to teach you the right techniques so you can start drawing a few of my best techniques to just get loose, get warmed up, get excited, and be able to do that. I'm going to give you that. So that's another bonus that you're going to get. So the 12 months, the Kickstarter, the 5 game plans, and the How to Draw video series. But I'm not even going to stop there, guys. I want to make sure that if you're also busy, that you're going to get as much as possible from there. So sometimes if you have a busy day and you have only like 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to give you my 8-week paintable speed painting program. We have to change those names, Fabian. I'm not able to say them. Every week, you receive one exercise, and it's a speed building exercise. Basically, it's to make sure that you're going to be able to get the right technique as fast as possible. It's exercises that I'm going to send. Like I said, those are exercises from the students that already did. We have a series of them for 8 weeks. They are drastically improving with each of them. You're going to see results amazing. And that's a program that we built, me and Fabian, to make sure that people will have the time to practice no matter how busy they are. I'm going to give you that as well. So that's the 12 months, the digital painting Kickstarter, the 5 game plans, the How to Draw, and the 8-week paintable speed building program. And that's a total value of $2,438. Now, I want to ask you that question. If all this, imagine that, if all this did for you was to give you the motivation to break out finally of old habit of doing nothing and start to learn digital painting, would that be worth it? Give you the tools and knowledge you need to become the artist that you want to be. Would that be worth it? Or even better, give you the kickstart to work finally in the industry, if you want to be a concept artist or an illustrator, so you can start making a living and earn some money doing something super passionate about. Would that be worth it to you? I know it would be worth it to me, because when I started, I really wanted to switch career. I was really ready for it. So I know it would be worth it. So I had obviously a choice here. I want to give you the most value that I can today, guys. I want to give you the cheapest price that I can. But obviously, if I want to keep working on this and give you the best value, well, I need to still roll at the background, right? I need to create those. I need to survive, basically. So instead of giving you it for free or for super dirt cheap, I'm going to give you just a little bit more expensive, but that way I'll be able to give you more material week by week. So that's actually an investment that you're doing, just paying me to work for you, basically. And I want you to take a minute here, right? So if you wanted to start a career or get the result or be finally able to paint from imagination, all right, why would you be ready to pay for this? I just want you to imagine it. You don't have to put it in the chat. Just imagine it, all right? Well, obviously, I don't want to charge you $2,400. I don't want to charge you half of that. Today, I just want to charge you $197 for everything that I showed you today. Absolutely everything. And that includes all the bonuses and the 12 months to the Academy. That's actually cheaper than what we sell the Academy alone. I think the Academy now is at $247 on the website. Mm-hmm. So that's even cheaper, and you're going to get all the bonuses that comes with it. At this point, you have a choice, right? You can do nothing, and that's 100% risk-free. Or you can do something, take action, and see the results for yourself, basically. The cool thing about all that is, even though I'm giving you a lot of value for cheap, I want you to really feel comfortable with this. You got 30 days to try it out. So you can buy it today, go to the Academy, you can get all the bonuses, and you can keep the bonuses if after 30 days you tell me, David, thank you, but this is not for me. Well, no problem. Email me. I'm going to give you money back. Basically, if you didn't learn anything, then I didn't earn your money. It's basically what I'm saying. I'm here to teach people. I want people to realize their dreams. So just go ahead, try it. You got 30 days. So the only question you have to ask yourself is this: is it worth gambling 5 minutes of your time to check it out? Because even if it doesn't half of what I claim today, it does for you, it will pay for itself as soon as you do your first commission. Because, well, I know my first commission was, in the thousands. So I'm sure that you can make a lot more money with your commission than at the price of this today. So to just put it all in perspective, you would get the 12 months, the digital painting Kickstarter, the 5 simple game plan, the how to draw, and the 8-week painting speed building program. That's a value of $2,000, almost $2,500. And today you're going to get it for $197. But on top of that, we're going to have a Q&A, and I can't wait to answer all your questions, guys, and have a chat finally with you. I feel like I've been talking the whole time. I want you to talk to me a little bit and have that conversation finally. But if you buy before the end of the Q&A, I'm also going to give you 20 minutes personal mentoring. What did you say, Fabian?
This is the special pre-Christmas bonus.
Exactly. I'm going to give you also, if you're the 5 first person to take that deal, I'm going to give you a 20-minute personal mentoring, guys. And I don't do that really often, but I'm going to give it to you guys. So if you want it, you just simply have to click now on the yes, let me in. And from there, it's going to bring you to this page. You're going to see a list of everything that you get with that deal. You can click on yes, claim the bonus. It's going to bring you to that page. You simply have to fill up your name, your username, your email, and then choose your way that you want to do the payment. And that's it. You'll be in. It all starts with taking action, guys. So take action. And to put that in perspective, me and Fabian, we're calculating it's like if you were to just skip 1 coffee a week, that's how much you that's the price of it, basically. So you don't have to really squeeze your belt too much. It's only 1 coffee. And anyway, coffee is not good for you. So you just have to click on the yes, let me in. Now we're going to take your question, guys. So here, a reminder. And you might already have a few questions. We knew that we have a few questions that you might already have. So we prepared them.
Real fast also, before we get into that, a few people were saying, because I think you forgot to mention this. So this, like David was saying earlier, this whole bundle is, it's as like a special, it's basically just for you guys that showed up to this website, not this website, this workshop. So this promotion is going to be on for while we show the replay for this. So a few people were asking if there'll be a replay, and so that you guys can kind of rewatch anything if you want we'll have the replay for this going for just for this weekend. And during the same time while the replay is up, that's the only time that we're going to have this for you guys too. So again, the one-on-one mentoring session, the fast action one, that's just for people watching this in the Q&A. So if you're watching this in the replay, sorry, but that's just as a special bonus for the real action takers that made it live here. But everything else, all of that will be part of this promotion for the weekend, also the whole weekend. So you have a little bit more time on that basically. But so if you're watching this in the replay, this is definitely available for you too still, because it's going to be coming down when the replay does. So I hope that clears that up. Hope that helps that. So yeah, I'm going to take over for David for a sec here, because I know he's been having to talk for a long time here.
You go.
Always get pretty flustered and excited when we talk about this too. We've been running this for about just over a year now, I think, David, we launched it. Yeah. And it's basically been our obsession since then. So I know there's been times where we've people ask us what we do, and we've literally just talked them out of the room with this, because it just it gets us, well, for me at least, it still gets me really excited and kind of fired up. So anyways, yeah, I'll give David a break and answer a few of these questions for you guys. So we have had in the past people ask us if they need any specific tablet or software or anything to follow along. And the answer is no. I mean, we do recommend, you do need a tablet, I'd say. I don't think you can do this with your mouse, but you probably already knew that if you're watching this. But if you're a complete beginner and you don't have a tablet yet, you can get on Amazon for as little as $60, $70, you can get a beginner's tablet. And that is more than enough to get started, at least. Eventually, as you go, you're going to want to upgrade to a better tablet. But I know you started with a tablet like that too, didn't you, David?
Yeah, I started with actually what they were calling at the time a semi-professional tablet. It was a bamboo tablet. I don't think Wacom still do that product. I think they have the Intuos Arch now, and it's actually what I'm using right now. The reason why they call it a semi-professional tablet, it has less pressure sensitivity, but I've been working absolutely fine with it. It's all about finding a tool that you feel comfortable with, really.
Yeah, exactly. And same goes for software. So everything in the Academy is done in Photoshop, because it's the industry standard for the most part, and it's just one of the best softwares out there. So everything is in Photoshop, but all the lessons, it's not about specific software things as much as it is about the core principles, the techniques, things like lighting, form, rendering, coloring, etc. And those are the kind of things that you can follow along in just about any software. I know we have a lot of students in Procreate and Krita, Clip Studio Pro. I don't know if you can think of any others, David, but I think, people following along in basically anything. So, I hope that clears that up. So, yeah, for you guys also asking this in the chat, is the Academy always open? Can I join at a later date? Like David was saying, so it is open at any time. The doors are always open. This bundle, though, this is only for this weekend while this replay is on. And again, if you want the one-on-one mentoring with David, that's only during this Q&A while we're live for the first 5 people. So you can join at a later date, but like David also said, this is on top of all the bonuses that we're doing only now. The price on the website is also more expensive. You save an extra 2 months, $50 by joining here with us today. So yeah, like I said, we just wanted to make this a special kind of thank you bonus to you guys for being just some of the most active and well, just for taking the initiative to show up and stick around with us for an hour. That shows us that you're pretty serious. So you're exactly the kind of students that we'd love to have in the Academy with us. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And one more.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure you can afford this, is it really worth the money? Well, we absolutely, like we said, we've had so many students tell us that that they've gotten more out of this than from art school. So we really, really believe in what we do. And that's why we have that that guarantee also, because we want you to feel completely comfortable going through everything. We want you to really see everything for yourself. We want you to be able to download the exercises, go through everything. And we want it to be completely risk-free for you guys. And yeah, like David said, it's really an investment, because if this is something that you are passionate about, then it's a fairly small investment for something that you could switch to professionally, for example. Like Dave was saying earlier, it could then pay off with its first commission. It'll pay off like tenfold. Even if you want to do it as a hobby, this is essentially, we want you to see it as art school with all the mentoring and everything else that comes with it, but at like the price that we wish that we could have had art school a few years ago. So that's, I guess, in a nutshell, that's how I'd sum up the Academy. So I hope that answers those questions.
So guys, if you have any more questions, I'll be happy. It can be a question about anything, about the bundle that we present you, or about digital painting in general, about art, about what I'm doing in the weekend. Whatever question you have, guys, we'll be happy to answer them.
Oh, if they want to go there, if they're to find out. It's just nerding out over digital art, I'm sure. So big welcome also to our first members. We have Natalia, Jose, Aitor, Alejandra, and Jason, all in. Big welcome to you. Very excited to have you on board.
Welcome,
Jose also just posted that he just joined. Huge welcome. We're so excited to meet you guys in the community, get to know you, get to see what your art is, where you are, and just be part of your journey with you.
Yeah.
So
you want to hit me with a question?
So Yaroslav was asking whether the so I just covered this actually, but maybe you could just quickly cover it while I find another question. He was asking if the price is only now or if there's a couple of days to think about it.
So like we're saying, we're going to roll that for, I think, up till the weekend. This is going to be a special price. On our website, you actually, if you were going on the website on a different day or from a different link, you would have to pay, I think, another $50 to get this without all the bonuses that I'm giving you. Basically, it will just be more expensive for the Academy. So you have a few more days to grab that, though, if you want the bonuses, and especially the 5 bonus. Although I don't know if the 5 game plans or the 5 mentoring sessions are maybe already gone, but if you want to have the bonus, you need to grab them right now. This bonuses are the bonus going through the whole weekend or just for today, Fabian?
So the first 5 bonuses will be until midnight on Sunday. But that being said, but yeah, if you want the fast action bonus, that's only during this Q&A. So yeah, I hope that explains that. So a question from Anna Lopez. I'm not sure. We had an Anna earlier saying in the chat that she was from Berlin, in which case, if that is the same Anna, big shout out, because we actually started Paintable in Berlin together. Mm-hmm. So it's one of our favorite cities. Anyways, before I ramble on too much, Anna was asking, as a textile designer, I want to learn digital painting in order to ditch the paper and also to be able to travel more and carry less stuff with me. So do you think it would be a good investment for me?
Absolutely, definitely. The teaching I'm going to teach you is going to teach you everything you need to know, about how to get around with the digital media. You'll be literally able to do everything that you're doing with a traditional media. And on top of that, you won't have to scan your work or anything. You'll be able to start from Sketch directly into digital media. I've been actually meeting some textual, one person was actually doing a textual drawing when I was in vacation in Bali. And I remember that she had an actual tablet and she was working all into digital media. Depending on the kind of work you're doing, for her, it was really more vectorial. So she was really working more with Illustrator than Photoshop. But depending on what you're doing, digital is definitely the way to go, especially if you're professional, guys. If you want to be professional, you need to, like the clients are like more crazy and crazier that it goes. Now they give you a contract, they're like, can you do that yesterday? So if you have to like start all your paintings, your brushes, your aquarelle and everything, and then scan the whole thing and then send the piece, it takes forever. When you go digital, all that is took out. All your colors are in your computer. Your scanner is your tablet. Like it's a miracle, literally. So yes, big yes on this one.
Cool. Sorry, I had my microphone muted there. I've had a penny for every time that's happened to me. No, right? Okay, so we have Alejandro saying, I can't wait to start diving into this and start learning. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for showing up here today. For everyone that showed up today.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we love to present to you guys. It's always a big pleasure to have people to actually present to. You know, we never know how many people are going to show up. It's always just a big warm hug, basically, to have people that, like I was saying, like for me, it's the same thing as someone telling me like, "Hey, your weight is great." It's just I like people to appreciate what we're doing, and just showing up for me is sign enough that you guys appreciate. So thank you for being there, and definitely thank you for being part of the Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, if anybody has any like great results they get out of this, we'd love to hear from you always. And in general, if you have any questions about anything, you can always email us at hello@paintable.cc. Or if you go on our Academy page, there's actually a little like a chat window in the bottom where you can get in contact with us there. So if you have any questions about anything after this workshop also, we're always there for you guys. You can always give us a shout. Natalia, who has recently joined us, big welcome, was saying, so I draw for some years now, but sometimes I feel stuck with my art. Even if people tell me it feels good, and I don't want to get mad at them. I completely feel your frustration. I mean, that's kind of that's why we structured everything in the Academy the way we have to really, I mean, lessons, the stuff that's taught in it, that is obviously a big part of it, but the structure of it, I think the way that everything's in exercises, that was like, we specifically spent a long time just working on how we can get you unstuck, how we can get you to focus on like very specific things, like through exercises, like David was explaining in the workshop, because momentum and motivation, I think, are just as important as how much you're learning. There's nothing worse than getting stuck.
Yeah. I didn't touch momentum really a lot today because the habit was there for that, but momentum is a huge one. Like when you start having momentum, it feels like, it's like running a marathon and finally discover that you have wings. That's what momentum does. You feel like you're able to actually progress and go faster. And it's not effort anymore. It's just rolling. And It's a huge thing. And starting a habit is definitely the right way to start having momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, I think, that's where the community then also shines so much, because just the support and feedback you get in there. I think both of us, I'm assuming you too, David, but I know I'm part of quite a few groups, and a lot of them just, people will be posting their stuff and then it's just tumbleweeds and you barely get anything on it. And that was really important for us, that it's an actual like living supportive community. Yeah. And by now, I think David said earlier, we have 750 plus members now. And honestly, just some of the results in there, the feedback and like camaraderie in there, it still kind of amazes us every week. So Diogo's asking, will the replay and or the purchase bundle be sent to our email? Yes. So after this, we will, in about an hour or so, I'll send you guys an email with a link to watch the replay here if you want to. The replay will be available until Sunday. After that, if you want to catch up on any point, we'll be putting it inside the Academy. So if you ever need to come back to that, you can do so inside the Academy. And until Sunday evening, along with the workshop, the bonus bundle will be good until then also. So as well as the discount also. Sorry, I need to grab some water myself. I've got a really bad cold at the moment. Excuse me.
All good. Hit me with a question so you can stop talking.
Cool. Are you trying to get me to shut up, David? All right, cool. So if you have any last questions, pop them in now and we'll cover those. We've already taken up quite a bit of your day today, and we want to be respectful of the rest of your day, so we don't want to.
Exactly. Thank you so much for showing up and all that time, guys. Like Fabian was saying, we're here to answer a question. So if you have a question, let's just shoot them now, and maybe we're going to do another 5-10 minute or 5-10 questions, something like that.
Yeah. If there are any more questions coming in, then
we'll let you guys go with the Q&A with your day. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Did you want to maybe real quick, while we wait for if there's anything last coming in, to explain what's coming up in the next couple of weeks? Because we actually have and what we have had coming in, because we have new material coming literally every week to the academy.
I'm fuzzy about what's coming in the next week. Actually, I think you know more than me. You've been looking at that schedule more.
That's true. Okay, wait. I need to get a break. So I can take a sip of water. Give me just 1 second.
That's all good. But yeah, like we were saying, guys, there's actually work coming in every week. We're working really hard to produce work in-house, but also to approach new artists, to have new classes to come in. So yeah, we work on both of those directions to make sure that we have a vast, very diversified gallery. Is it a gallery? No, it's a library of tutorials. And yeah, working on that. So I don't know exactly what's happening into the next weeks. Fabien, if you got back, then maybe you can talk about that.
So these last couple of weeks, what have we added? We've just added a 3-part series on lighting and color by Darkin. I don't know if anyone knows him. He's a fantastic artist, really talented guy, great teacher too. And he went really in depth on how lighting and color affects paintings. So things like how to create mood with lighting. And he actually created the same scene 5 different times with different lighting sources and different lighting techniques to show 5 different moods. Really, really cool. Also how color, sorry if anyone can hear the barking in the background. That's my upstairs neighbor's dog going crazy. How local color is affected by like different light sources. We've had walkthroughs from an artist called Ashi on things like how to paint grass, how to paint fur, wood. We have actually this week a tutorial on how to paint dragons coming out, again by Darkin. And yeah, basically in a nutshell, we try to release something new every week. And also every month we have the live workshops. So there's literally, so I guess if you join today, you get everything, a whole year's worth of content, plus one next year, like this whole next year of new stuff coming all the time. So we want you to know that it's a living thing, and it's always getting bigger and better for you guys. So.
Man, I can't wait to work on new stuff. Seriously, I enjoy so much creating new material for you guys. It's really one of my pleasure. I'm actually working right now on a technique because I start really from the beginning for people to learn from scratch. Like if you're a traditional artist or a pure beginner, I want you to learn about tablets, about lines, about how really to get like eased very easily into that process. But right now I'm working on some advanced material for when you're going to be a little bit more advanced on how to add amazing textures. So I'm working on that right now on some new brushes too. There's great work coming on very, very soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so one or two last things. Diogo saying, thanks, probably will join you guys over the weekend if I can get the money. Really impressive workshop and tools. Thank you so much, Diogo. And we really hope to welcome you on the weekend then. And all right, so we have a last class here, or question. Sorry, it's 7 p.m. for me here. It's 8 p.m. for David even. We've already got a full day of work behind us. Feeling my brain is slowly evaporating. So we're going to wrap this up in a sec. But Anna Lopez asking, how's the market for digital painting lately? When I was living in London 2 years ago, I remember that matte painting was a wow thing, and that all the movie companies were looking for people. Did you want to?
Yeah, well, matte painting is always going to be a big thing because, well, the movie industry, is definitely a flourishing industry. So it's a big thing. But I think if you just think about those big industry, I think you're not seeing bright enough. Like there's a lot. You can be an artist and make money starting tomorrow, literally. When I started to put my work on Instagram at the beginning, it took me quite a while until I get like work enough to be like noticed by people to get work. But since I put my work on Instagram, I have like pure passive income that comes without having to work anymore on it. I just put my work there. And, people get to run about. Obviously, if you want to make a real business out of it, there's a little bit more to know about it. Those are classes that we actually want to cover at some point as well. How to promote yourself, how to start making a living as a freelancer. They're a little bit in the future, but we definitely want to touch the subject. And Like the industry is big. You can be a character designer, you can be a concept artist, you can be a matte painter, but you can also just be a freelancer artist or have a job as a graphic designer, for example, and have a little side job as being an artist and put your work out there. There's so many platforms for now to be just a professional artist that do art, for just the sake of doing art, and people will buy your art over different activities. I love Society 6 because you can just put your work there and they will give you a variety of elements that you can print your work on it, from a bed sheet to mugs to actual art, a frame as well. So when it comes to the market, it's so big. You can do literally everything. Obviously, if you have a vision that you want to be a concept artist, you're going to have to build a portfolio that's going to be in that direction. It's never about, is there a lot of job in it? It's how can you sell yourself better than everybody else? And that's why we want to actually touch that subject as soon as possible and have classes to help you guys build the most beautiful portfolio that will attract the eyes of people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think digital painting is at a point right now where, for the last 10 years or so, I think it's been fairly obscure. Unfortunately, a lot of people haven't even heard of it or haven't understood it, thought that maybe it's just something created by like a filter or something. But slowly, I think people are more and more really seeing the value of digital painting, that is right up there with traditional art, that it's even more creative than traditional art sometimes because of the creativity and the flexibility it gives you. So yeah, I mean, just about like any film with special effects, games. I know the game industry is booming right now with like independent game shops jumping up all the time. And with each of those, there's a huge demand for digital painters coming in with that. So I think over the last, since it's been invented, I guess there's never really been more demand for it. And I predict that over the next 10 years or so, that's just going to really explode as it comes into the mainstream. So
I definitely agree with that.
Okay, so last question. So a few people were asking about the PDF, or Nia Soto was asking about the PDF. We'll send that afterwards. Also about the bonuses. If you've joined us, I'll make sure to send you an email with your bonuses very soon. So you should have gotten immediate access straight away, so you can begin enjoying all the classes and everything right away. And I'll send you the bonuses in an email very, very soon.
Yeah, so, there's only one that's going to take a little bit more time. I'm still working on that, and that's the How to Draw video series. I'm still putting the final touches on it.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
Right? But as soon as it's going to be over, guys, I'm going to send you that as well.
All right, cool. So let's say there's 2 questions, one from Jason, one Yolanda. And then after that, again, if you have any other questions, please just email us at hello@paintable.cc and we'll get back to you there. So one from Yolanda saying, thank you guys for the amazing class. Got here a bit late, but you killed the monster of digital drawing / painting for me. I'm so happy to hear that. That's our number one goal for this, to really make you realize that it is more achievable than it seems, because it seems scary at first. But we want to make you realize that it is possible, just with the right approach to it, really. So Yolanda is saying, we'll definitely join the Academy during the next few days and recommend it to a couple of friends. Awesome. We would love to welcome you. And she's asking, is it a good foundation for people who would like to do animations?
Well, right now we do not have any class on animation itself, but the base is going to be the same. You still need the same about all the tools that are there, all the foundation, basically, the how to render, how to put lighting, how to color, all those different techniques will be still valuable. When it comes to precisely teaching about animation, we do not have any class at the moment on this. We're working really hard to have, as soon as possible, a class on character design, which could help, but still the animation part of it is just not going to be in it.
Oh, sorry, I'm muted again. Cool. And one last. Oh yeah, have we even actually mentioned were you just talking about the character design class?
Yeah, I didn't mention it because we still don't know when it's going to come in. So
yeah, true.
But that is definitely it's going to come. It's just we don't know when it's going to come.
Yeah, exactly. So it will definitely be part of the bundle for you throughout this next year, though, if you join us today.
Everybody that's been in today will see the character design class. We cannot say when it's going to be, so I didn't want to eye people on the class, but it's coming.
Yep. So Jason was saying, I noticed on your site there's a monthly sign up. If we sign up through the monthly service right now, are there any more bonuses we can enjoy through that? So the monthly service, like we said, it's available anytime, and that's at just $25. But you won't get any of these, like this whole bundle, and this big discount is really for people. We want to encourage people to really just take action and commit to this, because we've seen time and time again that people that really fully make the plunge and fully commit to like a whole year end up sticking with it on average considerably longer and get much further. So we really want to encourage that. So you can sign up through the monthly service also. You'll get access to everything in the Academy, but you won't get any of these bonuses. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So I think that covers everybody's questions.
All right.
Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this whole presentation. I hope you found it useful. If you have, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a message at hello@paintable.cc. We'll be in contact with the freebies as well as a replay and another link if you would like to join us over the weekend. We'd love to welcome you on board, and we'll send you the infos to that soon. So, yeah. Any last words of wisdom from you, David?
No, I think that was perfect, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Like I was saying earlier, it's always a huge, warm feeling when we can present to people that appreciate what we're doing. And I definitely feel it tonight. So thank you so much for being there. Amazing thank you for people that join in. Amazing thank you for people that will join in soon. And for everybody else, like Fabian says, I hope that you had a lot of value in this presentation and that you'll be able to implement that into your own learnings. And from that, I will say have a good day. Thank you for showing up, guys, and we'll talk to you in another time.
All right. Great. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. Happy painting. David, just letting you know that you need to end the presentation from your end.
Oh, that's from there we go.
Yeah. For we awkwardly sit here. All right. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
All right. Ciao, guys.